What drives a person to destroy something cherished by their community? In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns and friendly waves define the rhythm of life, Karen Ellison became the answer to that question in a single, explosive moment. Her story wasn't just about broken tables or a staggering finite, it was about the unraveling of a woman, a neighborhood, and the fragile threads that hold people together. Karen wasn't always the villain of Willow Creek. Once, she was the heart of the neighborhood, the one who organized bake sales and planted tulips along the park's edges. Her laugh used to echo at the annual HOA BBQ, where families gathered under the oak trees, kids chasing fireflies as burgers sizzled. But something had shifted in Karen over the past year. Her husband, Tom, left her for a younger colleague, taking their savings and leaving her with a mortgage and a teenage daughter, Mia, who barely spoke to her anymore. The neighbors noticed Karen's smile fade, her eyes grow sharp, but no one reached out. They whispered instead, their words like thorns. She's changed. She's bitter. She's trouble. The HOA BBQ was the neighborhood's crown jewel, a day of unity planned with military precision by the HOA president, Linda Voss. Linda was everything Karen wasn't: polished, connected, and unflappably calm. Her emails about the barbecue were relentless. Tablecloths must be navy blue, no store-bought potato salad, and absolutely no dogs off-leash. Karen, once a willing volunteer, had been sidelined this year. Linda claimed it was to give others a chance. But Karen knew it was because of the rumors. They think I'm unhinged, she thought, gripping her coffee mug each morning as she stared at the park from her window. The day of the barbecue arrived, sunny and warm, with the park buzzing. Tables were adorned with checkered cloths, grills smoked, and laughter filled the air. Karen watched from her porch, her heart a tangled knot of resentment. Mia had gone to the barbecue with friends, leaving Karen alone with her thoughts. Why am I always on the outside now? She wondered. The answer felt like a blade, because they'd chosen Linda's perfect world over her messy one. Then came the twist no one saw coming, not even Karen herself. As she walked toward the park, intending only to grab Mia and leave, she spotted a man she hadn't seen in years. Daniel, her high school sweetheart, now a caterer hired for the event. He was setting up a dessert table, his easy smile unchanged. For a moment, Karen felt like her old self, the girl who believed in second chances. They talked, and Daniel's warmth thawed her bitterness. He listened as she poured out her pain: Tom's betrayal, Mia's distance, the neighborhood's judgment. You're still you, Karen, he said. Don't let them take that away. But the moment shattered when Linda approached, her voice dripping with condescension. Karen, this is a private event. If you're not volunteering, maybe you should head home. The crowd hushed, eyes on Karen. Daniel stepped forward, ready to defend her, but Karen's rage ignited. She saw the tables, Linda's perfect tables, symbols of a community that had rejected her. Without thinking, she grabbed a folding chair and swung. The first table splintered with a crack that silenced the park. Gasps rose as she swung again, then again, wood and metal collapsing under her fury. Children cried, adults shouted, but Karen was a storm, unstoppable. When the police arrived, Karen stood amid the wreckage, breathing heavily, her hands trembling. Mia ran to her, tears streaming. Mom, why? She sobbed. Karen had no answer. The HOA board, led by Linda, wasted no time. They fined Karen $140,000 for damages and cleanup, plus the cost of replacing every table. The news spread like wildfire. Karen smashed the HOA barbecue tables at the park, fined $140,000 and forced to replace them. The headline became her identity, a scarlet letter branding her as the neighborhood's pariah. But the story didn't end with the gavel's fall. Enter Sarah, a quiet widow who lived across from the park. Sarah was the neighborhood's ghost, rarely seen, her house overgrown with ivy. No one knew much about her, except that she kept to herself and never attended HOA events. Yet, after Karen's outburst, Sarah began leaving notes on Karen's doorstep. Simple messages at first: Yuri, not alone, then longer ones. sharing her own story of loss and isolation after her husband's death. Sarah had watched the barbecue from her window, seen Karen's pain explode, and recognized it as her own. Sarah's notes became Karen's lifeline. They met in secret, sharing coffee in Sarah's cluttered kitchen, where photos of her late husband lined the walls. Sarah didn't judge. She listened. "You broke those tables," Sarah said one evening. "But they broke you first." Karen began to see her actions not as madness but as a cry for help no one had answered. Sarah urged her to fight the fine, to tell her story, but Karen was drowning in shame. The HOA's lawyers were relentless, and her savings were gone. She'd have to sell her house to pay the fine, leaving her and Mia with nothing. The twist deepened when Sarah revealed her own secret. She was a retired lawyer who'd once specialized in community disputes. She offered to represent Karen pro bono, digging into the HOA's records. What she found was a bombshell: Linda had inflated the fine, skimming funds for administrative costs that never existed. Sarah presented the evidence at a tense HOA meeting, where neighbors, once united against Karen, began to question Linda's reign. The fine was reduced to $20,000, still a burden but manageable. Linda resigned in disgrace, her perfectionist facade cracked. Yet, even this victory couldn't erase the damage. Karen's relationship with Mia remained fractured. The neighborhood forgave her legally but not emotionally. Whispers followed her to the grocery store, and Mia's friends avoided their house. Karen rebuilt what she could, working overtime to pay for the new tables, which stood in the park like silent sentinels of her mistake. She and Sarah grew closer, their friendship a quiet rebellion against the HOA's cold order. But Karen couldn't shake the weight of her actions. One evening, as Karen and Mia sat on their porch, Mia finally spoke. "I was embarrassed, Mom, but I get it now. You were hurting." Karen's eyes filled with tears. It wasn't forgiveness, not fully, but it was a start. They watched the park, where new families laughed at the rebuilt tables, unaware of the storm that had broken them. Karen wanted to believe in redemption, in the humanity Sarah had shown her, but the cost of her rage lingered. She'd lost her place in Willow Creek, and no fine or new tables could bring it back. The sun set, casting long shadows over the park. Karen thought of Daniel, who'd left town after the barbecue, his number still in her phone. She thought of Sarah, who'd given her a reason to keep going. And she thought of Mia, the one person she'd fight for, no matter the cost. The neighborhood moved on, but Karen's heart bore the scars of a day when anger won and love lost. Nd.